A loud screaming sound is coming from the roof in front of you. As soon as your eyes look up, you start trembling with fear, because now that screaming sound has turned into laughter. Right before you, a half-burnt woman is stuck to the walls of barrack number 6, and when your eyes move toward barrack number 3, you see some shadows hanging there. They are crying. These are the same ones who were once hanged here. But now you have made a very big mistake, because there is a strict rule in Tihar Jail. No matter what kind of sound you hear at night, even if you feel as if someone is sitting on your chest, no matter how much you feel like screaming or calling out, you must never open your eyes. Because if, by mistake, you see even one of them, that will be your last night, not just in Tihar Jail, but in this entire world. Tihar Jail is not only a prison for the living. Tihar Jail is a house of countless deaths and hundreds of unfulfilled desires. A home to the souls of the dead. Every wall here has heard someone's last scream. Some couldn't bear the pain of being separated from their families. Some criminals were killed here by their own fellow inmates. And some climbed the gallows to be hanged to death. After that, their bodies left this place, but their unsatisfied souls stayed behind forever. It is said that when the clock strikes 2 a.m. every night, all these souls come together and go out hunting. And today, we are going to learn about some of the strange and terrifying stories of their hunts. When I read about them, even I couldn't sleep because of fear. And I'm sure that after watching this video till the end, the same will happen to you too. This is Rahul, running through the corridors of Tihar Jail. Rahul was not afraid of anyone, because he had come to this prison to serve punishment for committing several murders. He had come to serve his sentence. But don't be fooled by his name. Rahul was so dangerous that people were terrified even to go near him. But now he was running fast, completely drenched in sweat, terrified. Rahul ran and hid inside the public toilet of the jail. But something strange was there. Even after running so fast, his shoulders, not his legs, were hurting badly, as if he were carrying some heavy weight on them. While he was hiding in the bathroom, he suddenly started hearing a strange, eerie laughter. He turned around to look, but saw no one. He couldn't understand what was happening, where that laughter was coming from. Gradually, both the pain in his shoulders and the terrifying laughter grew louder and louder. Then Rahul's eyes fell upon the mirror in front of him, and what he saw there made him freeze in horror. He couldn't believe his eyes. His soul trembled with fear, because the reflection in the mirror wasn't just Rahul. There was someone else too. A dark shadow was sitting on Rahul's shoulders. Its eyes were glowing and it was laughing loudly while staring straight at Rahul. This was only one incident, but there are many more like it. There are many mysterious and terrifying stories connected to Tihar Jail. So if you ever thought that ghosts, spirits and souls live only in old mansions, think again, because perhaps you have never witnessed the nights of Tihar, those nights which you are about to experience in this very video. Thick darkness, cold winds, and an eerie silence spread all around. This isn't some deserted graveyard, it is that part of Delhi's heart where night doesn't just mean darkness, it means the beginning of fear. Tall walls, electric barbed wires, and cameras watching every corner. This is Tihar Jail. During the day, law and order prevail here, but as soon as the clock strikes 2 a.m., another courtroom opens, one where there are no hearings, only screams echoing through the walls. It is said that these screams do not belong to any living prisoner, but to the souls who could never leave this prison. Those screams that dissolve into the night air, and those eyes watching silently from the shadows of Tihar. Those eyes bounce back after striking the stony walls of the prison. Every cell, every corridor hides a story within itself. Sometimes, near the window of the women's barrack, a dark shadow is seen standing in the darkness. And sometimes, near the old execution chamber, a mysterious figure is seen wandering. And today's terrifying story begins from cell number 6 of Tihar Jail. Cell number 6 is home only to female prisoners. But every single day, they plead with the jail authorities to transfer them to some other cell. But why? It is sad that many years ago, in one of the rooms of this very cell, a female inmate died. Her last words were, "I am innocent," but no one listened to her cries. Since that night, her last scream still echoes in cell number 6 every night after 2 a.m. According to the female prisoners logged here, this barrack seems perfectly normal during the day. The women talk, cook, and stay busy with their chores. But as soon as the sun sets, strange things start happening. The prisoners say that every night, exactly at 2 a.m., a strange scream can be heard. At first, it sounds like it's coming from far away, but moments later, it feels as if the scream burst right beside one's ear. After that, many women have claimed to have seen a white shadow in the cell. Its eyes dark and hollow, and half of its face burnt. It is said that she stands silently in one corner of the cell, and then suddenly begins crawling across the walls. One night, when several women were asleep, the lights in the barracks suddenly went out. Then, out of nowhere, a loud and eerie laughter filled the room. The women instantly knew whose laughter it was.
At first, they tried to ignore all of it. But soon the sounds grew louder and louder. However, all the women imprisoned there knew the rule I told you about at the beginning of this video. No matter how loud the sound is, no matter what happens, do not open your eyes. Because if you open your eyes and by mistake even catch a glimpse of that woman, then she will take you away. So, while the terrifying noises filled the cell, some women covered their ears, some hid under their sheets, and many simply kept their eyes tightly shut and prayed silently. Somehow they managed to survive the night. When morning came, everything looked completely normal again. But the question is, what would have happened if even one of those women had opened her eyes and seen that screaming shadow?
And this very question takes us back to the story of Rahul, which was left incomplete at the beginning. Rahul was a ruthless criminal. By the time he was sentenced to Tihar Jail, he had already killed 4 people. Everyone was terrified of him. Even the police officers hesitated to go near him. But when he entered the jail, he was given a strict warning. No matter what happens, if you ever hear at 2 a.m. the sound of a woman crying, calling, or laughing, do not open your eyes. Many a times you may feel as if someone is lying beside you or sitting on your chest. Even then, even if it feels like someone is sitting on your chest, you must not open your eyes. At first, Rahul thought all the other prisoners were just trying to scare him. He brushed everything off and said, "Stop worrying about me. I can handle all this very well." The truth was, Rahul neither feared such things nor did he believe in them. Saying this, he went to his barrack to sleep, which was right next to the women's barrack, number 6. Now as the clock struck 2 a.m., from barrack number 6 came strange sounds, the screams, cries and laughter of women. Hearing them, Rahul's eyes opened. It was completely dark. He couldn't see anything. Then he heard a sound, the sound of someone sobbing, slowly coming closer and closer to him. And then that voice called out a name. It called Rahul. Startled, Rahul quickly turned around, but there was no one there. Now he began to realize that with his arrival in this prison, now Rahul finally understood why everyone had warned him never to open his eyes if he heard someone calling his name at night. But it was too late. Rahul had already opened his eyes and looked around. Suddenly, everything went silent. The sound stopped completely. Rahul began to think that maybe all of this was just his imagination, because now he couldn't hear a single thing. After a while, he lay down again, trying to relax. But then he felt something. A strange voice whispered to him, "Rahul, save me. I'm innocent." At that moment, Rahul's eyes were closed, but he realized that he had made a terrible mistake by paying attention to those voices. Still, to save his life, Rahul tried his best to ignore the sounds. But gradually, those voices grew louder, filled with pain and fear. Again and again, someone kept saying, "Rahul, save me." Despite trying hard to ignore them, Rahul couldn't help but react to the voices. Slowly, the painful cries began to turn into laughter. The sorrowful voice had transformed into a chilling, mocking laugh. Rahul started to feel uneasy, as if someone was sitting on his chest. The weight on his chest kept increasing. But Rahul didn't move. He stayed still. Then suddenly, someone began to choke him.
He couldn't breathe. His air was being cut off. After struggling for a few seconds, Rahul couldn't take it anymore. Terrified, he jumped up and ran, screaming, shouting, crying for help. But the strange thing was, no one could hear him. He called out to the guards for help, but there was no one there, and no one came even after hearing his cries, as if Rahul's voice could no longer reach anyone's ears. Then suddenly, Rahul saw that the door of his cell had opened by itself. He ran outside as fast as he could, and behind him followed that horrifying laughter. He could feel it, those sounds chasing him through the corridors. And what happened next? You already know. Rahul's eyes fell upon the large mirror in the washroom. And there, he saw that he was not alone. On his shoulders sat the dark shadow of a woman, half of her face burned, staring straight at him and laughing loudly. That was the moment when tears rolled down Rahul's eyes, because, along with fear, he finally realized the truth. This was going to be the last night of his life. And so it was. The next day, during daylight, Rahul's dead body was found in his barrack, covered with strange marks. Although Rahul had been a ruthless criminal,
See, Rahul is a fictional character, but there are many real, terrifying, and dangerous stories connected to Barrack number 6 of Tihar Jail. Many prisoners have truly claimed to have experienced such incidents themselves. But that's not all. There is another place, cell number 3, where even the guards are afraid to go on patrol duty. Because once upon a time, this was the very place where prisoners were hanged. Guards and many inmates claim that at night they have seen several bodies hanging from ropes, some crying, others screaming. So let's find out what's the mystery behind this cell number 3, which was once known as the execution block. Now, the structure of this third block in Tihar Jail is just like the old British-era prisons. A narrow corridor, iron bars in between, and a dim light bulb every 10 feet that flickers weakly.
Many guards have claimed that during their night shifts, they feel as though someone is whispering right next to their ear, as if the walls themselves are talking in some strange, unknown language. When the guards patrol the corridors at night, most of the complaints come from this very cell. Some prisoners say that while they were asleep, someone shook their shoulder. Others claim that they have seen the spirits of the people they once murdered. But the ones who have faced the most terrifying experiences in this block are the cleaning staff. According to them, many times during their night cleaning duties in this block, they often hear soft sobbing sounds which suddenly turn into weeping or into a loud, terrifying laughter. Sometimes these sounds come from behind them, sometimes from above the ceiling, and sometimes from far away. It feels as if there is an invisible crowd all around them. Their broom handles start swinging on their own, and while walking on the floor, it feels like someone else's footsteps are echoing beside theirs. But they have strict orders never to pay attention to any sound, never to look back. So they silently continue doing their work, ignoring everything, because they know very well that if they ever react to those voices, that night will be their last night. Most of these terrifying incidents are limited to a few specific areas of the jail, like around cell number 6 or cell number 3. But in 2020, an incident occurred in Tihar Jail that filled the heart of every inmate there with fear. On a cold morning in March 2020, a huge crowd of media personnel gathered outside the gates of Tihar Jail. Inside, another chapter of history was being written. 4 deaths at once. That was the day when the country executed the 4 convicts of the Nirbhaya case. After the hanging, the prison authorities said that everything was normal. But within just a few days, strange and disturbing incidents began occurring inside the jail, leaving everyone shaken. Many inmates couldn't sleep at night. Some said someone shook them awake. Others were startled awake by strange whispers. Everyone seemed to be suffering from bouts of fear and other strange symptoms. Each prisoner had their own experiences, their own stories, and their own strange encounters. Some of these incidents were such that no one could ever believe them. That's why several psychologists and doctors were sent to the prison to study the mystery behind these events. They spoke with the inmates, conducted many therapy sessions, and tried to explain these incidents scientifically. For example, if someone suddenly saw a shadow or a figure, scientists called this a phosphene flash. In this condition, when a person becomes extremely afraid and their blood pressure rises, the retina of the eye creates a light pattern or image on its own. For many prisoners, that image appeared as the face of a dead person or as an invisible figure sitting on their chest and stopping them from breathing. But even the psychologists who didn't believe in ghosts found an explanation for this phenomenon. According to them, what happened to those prisoners was the result of a sleep paralysis loop. Due to continuous stress and fear, sometimes the brain wakes up in the middle of sleep, but the body remains asleep, which means the person becomes temporarily paralyzed. This condition is truly terrifying. The person feels as if someone is sitting on their chest, choking their throat, or making it hard to breathe. Because the body is still asleep, it feels like some unknown force is preventing them from moving. However, many prisoners refuse to believe these scientific explanations. They argued, if it was just their imagination, then how could everyone hear the same screams at the same time? How could they all hear the same whispers, the same fearful laughter, and feel the same presence, as if someone was clinging to the ceiling, calling their names in the dark? And for such questions, science has no answer. Because the truth is, Tihar Jail is a place where many deadly and terrifying incidents have occurred. Incidents that cannot be explained scientifically.
The history of Tihar Jail itself has been filled with tragedy. Countless lives have been lost within its walls. People who are imprisoned here while alive suffer endlessly. And even when they are freed through death, their souls continue to suffer. Because their spirits never find peace, they are never truly liberated. So, what do you think? What is the real truth behind these mysterious and terrifying incidents that happen inside Tihar Jail? Are they truly caused by the wandering, restless souls of those who died here? Or is there a scientific explanation behind all of this? Can these supernatural events be understood in some other way?